Breaking news right now. New York Times reports grand jury in New York has voted to indict former President Donald Trump over his role in hush money payment. Mike, give us the latest.
Gene, the timing of the news today about Donald Trump caught many off guard. Late this afternoon, for the first time ever, a grand jury in New York, convened by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, indicted for a former president, Donald Trump, most likely for hush money payments. The payment in question reportedly includes $130,000 to adult film actress Stormy Daniels, a charge the former president has repeatedly denied. As a result of the sealed indictment, Donald Trump will likely become the first ever former president criminally prosecuted. A Manhattan grand jury has been hearing evidence in this case since January. The now 76-year-old 2024 presidential candidate called news of the indictment, quote, political persecution and election interference at the highest level in history. The 45th president of the United States went on to say radical left Democrats have been engaged in a witch hunt to destroy the Make America Great Again movement since June 16th of 2015, when Donald Trump came down the golden escalator at the Trump Tower and declared his candidacy. After hearing today's news, legal scholar Jonathan Turley said Donald Trump may be the first president to be indicted, but if this is the standard, he won't be the last. The George Washington University professor says Alvin Bragg just gave Trump proof positive the system has been politicized. Speculation is Mr. Trump won't be arraigned in Manhattan until early next week. Now, it's important to remember the indictment is still sealed, so we don't know all the facts. Gene.
Mike, has Florida Governor Ron DeSantis commented on the Trump indictment yet?
He has. He actually tweeted a few minutes ago saying this: the weaponization of the legal system to advance a political agenda turns the rule of law on its head. It's un-American. And the governor of Florida did add he will not assist in any extradition requests from the George Soros-backed DA. Gene.
Thanks, Mike. We'll stay tuned for any upcoming reports. Let me go now to Kari Lake. Kari, let's talk about that before we get into what's going on in your world. I want to get your take on what we just saw happen today with President Trump.
I think it's just, it's horrible what they're doing to this man. I've never seen anything like this in my life where somebody, the witch hunt is going after one man. And I believe the American people are tired of it. They're going after the one man who has stood up and put America first. Is that his only crime, is that he has put us first? And they can't stop him at the ballot box unless they cheat. And they can't stop him in the media because nobody's buying what they're pushing and what they're selling. And the only way to stop his campaign and his candidacy, they feel, is to persecute him and to bring him on these false, phony charges. It is outrageous. The people of this country are tired of it. We have serious problems, Gene. We have people who are struggling right here at home. We have, a guy named Joe Biden who's rushing us toward World War III. And in the city of New York, where you can't even walk the streets without having to worry about your safety, you have this prosecutor who doesn't care about crime in New York. He cares about going after President Donald J. Trump, and the people of this great country are sick and tired of it, including myself.
And tired of it. Yes, amen to that. All right, let me show you this Trafalgar Group poll that came out Monday on a possible Trump indictment. How do you believe the New York City District Attorney's indicting former President Donald Trump related to an alleged hush money payment to Helps campaign? 36.8%, hurt 25.7%, and no effect either way, 37.5%. Is that? Do you agree with that, Kari? Are we pretty much in? This is just political theater, a little drama they're trying to do.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. It is theater. And unfortunately, they're weaponizing, the prosecutor's office and law enforcement in New York when they actually should be gearing all of those efforts toward real criminals who are actually making the streets less safe. But unfortunately, they're targeting President Trump. I don't think it will affect anything with his base. His supporters are tried and true. They're with him all the way. They've got his back. I think that small segment, and I'm not sure if those were just Republican voters that were in that poll, Gene, or if it was all voters, but that 25% that said it would hurt him were probably people who weren't with him to start with.
Yeah, the poll was actually from all voters, so we'll see what happens. I personally don't believe this is going to affect one way or another. I do believe this is going to help Donald Trump's campaign.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Think about this.
think about the crimes that we've seen on Hunter Biden's laptop, and nothing has happened with that.
No.
Nothing has happened with that. We're living in a system where conservatives are being targeted by our taxpayer-funded prosecutors' offices and police departments in these blue cities where Soros is really running the show.
Yeah, it certainly is. So let me ask you this. Do you believe, or is it surprising to you that there's absolutely no comments from the White House about the Trump indictment, or for any Democrat senator or representative that we've heard so far?
No, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, this is the state that we're living in. It's so sad that we're this divided as a country. I wish people on the left could wake up, put themselves in the shoes of President Trump. Imagine if they had given up so much in their life to help this country, and then only to have your government come after you and come after you and come after you. Unfortunately, they can't kind of see through the brainwashing that 7 years of lies from the fake news has spread about President Trump, and they have been victims of that brainwashing, and they just can't see through the fog and the haze. And hopefully someday they'll wake up, because we're watching, let's face it, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. I mean, we're watching the economy collapse and crumble. We're watching people's retirement dry up. We're watching people lose their jobs by the tens of thousands right now. Again, we're marching toward World War III overseas. And I don't know, I really find myself missing President Trump sitting in the White House. This would not be happening.
Let me bring in Rob McCoy, TP Faith. All right, Rob, you hear what's going on. You heard Kari's comments. What do you think? Are we seeing just political theater, or is this going to have an effect on President Trump?
As always, Kari's statements are insightful. I'm always blessed to hear her speak. I would only add that they're throwing everything they have at President Trump. It's evident to all America that this is an absolute joke. And when you see those numbers, Gene, you said it. I think this is going to help him exceptionally. He's going to do far better because he's a populist president. We talk about fragile. Now, fragile is where you're afraid of breaking, but anti-fragile, and I love Charlie Kirk coined this term, anti-fragile, the more you throw at somebody, the stronger they get. That's President Trump. I mean, you look at Biden and he's aging. And yet Trump, he's older, but he gets younger and stronger and more committed. It's just remarkable. So he's not out by any stretch of the imagination. He's anti-fragile, getting stronger.
Anti-fragile. I like that. Yeah, I believe he is too. And I would take a few mean tweets right now, as well as the rest of the Americans out there watching.
Now more than ever, it's time for the FlashPoint Army to return our country to its biblical roots. And we're coming to a city near you to help make that happen. On the next stop of the 2023 FlashPoint Live Truth and Freedom Tour, join us May 11th through the 12th at Cornerstone Nashville Church, Nashville, Tennessee. Then, from June 8th through the 9th, we head to Faith Life Church in New Albany, Ohio. After that, on July 30th, it's back home to begin the week of the Southwest Believers Convention in Fort Worth, Texas. Coming back to the Omaha area, we'll be at the Mid-America Center in Council Bluffs, Iowa. And just added, on October 5th and 6th, we'll be at Living Word Christian Center in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. New year, new cities, events that you do not want to miss. For more information, visit us online at govictory.com/FPLive. Space is limited. Register today.
I am a Christian.
I am a patriot.
I stand for truth.
When no one else will.
I know, no matter what happens in the world, there are others like me who follow Christ, not culture. And I am not alone.
My children will grow up in a country that prioritizes keeping them safe. And I am fighting for that future.
I am a source of God's truth for people living in a world that wants to confuse them. And I am not afraid to speak up.
I am leading my community to prove to them that my generation is not lost. It's my time.
I am the FlashPoint Army.
I am the FlashPoint Army.
I am the FlashPoint Army.
I am the FlashPoint Army.